This video is going to cover Solidworks' new thread command. We're going to draw a 1/4 bolt 3 inches long. I'm going to start with the new part. I like to make sure that my document properties are set to ANSI standards and that my units are set to inches and pounds at, I'm going to bump it out to 3 decimal places. Okay, we're going to start right here on the start of the top plane. Create a sketch, a circle, make sure that I'm selecting the origin, gesture for my dimension tool, and 1/4 is going to be a 1/4 inch diameter. Going to finish that sketch and go to extruded boss, and we're going to send it out 3 inches. I'm going to select the end of our bolt here and make a new sketch, and we're going to grab the polygon tool, and actually before I do that I'd like to look normal to my sketch. Grab my polygon tool and make sure I select my origin, come on out. Going to gesture for my smart dimensions. Oops, thought I did. Try that again. We're going to go from flat to flat on this, and 1/4 bolts have a hex size of 7/16. Now I want to make sure that my hex is aligned with one of my planes, so I'm going to escape out of the dimension tool, and I want to select this line and I want to make it vertical, and you're going to notice it's going to rotate my whole hex. Now that's straight up and down. That ensures that this is lined up with one of my planes. Okay, I'm going to exit this, and we're going to do an extruded boss. We want to make sure we're going in the opposite direction of my bolt. I don't want to cover up my bolt, and I want to make sure my bolt stays 3 inches long. And we're going to go to a dimension of, I'm just double checking this, looks like it's 0.165. Okay. If you buy a bolt, the edges are usually eased, so we're going to draw a sketch that allows us to ease those edges. If you remember from chapter 9, you drew that nut and he had you do a swept cut to ease the edges, so we're going to do that. Key is making sure that we select the right plane. So if I hover here, notice that my right plane now passes right through the points of my hex, which is the reason why I aligned it vertical to that, so that I could have that right plane pass through. So while my right plane is selected, I'm going to go ahead and create a new sketch. I'm going to look normal to that sketch, and I'm going to change my view to be hidden lines removed. Okay, so we're going to draw a couple of arcs here and then mirror them and cut them. The first thing I'm going to do though is create my axis of rotation. So I'm going to go under my line tool and create an axis of rotation here. I'm also going to create a mirror line by hovering over this segment, and notice that when I get to the middle I get a dot here. This is going to be for mirroring my sketch on this side. So I've got my revolve line and my mirror line set. Next I want to draw a circle, and I'm just going to draw that circle out here somewhere and gesture for my dimension tool, and the diameter of this circle wants to be 0.1. And I'm going to make the distance from the origin to the center is going to be 0.21. Next we're going to add a relationship between this edge and this circle, and I'd like those to be tangent. And we're going to come in and draw a couple of lines and then trim this out. So I'm going to draw a line that's going to go from the corner to my circle. And I'm going to draw another line from the corner back to my circle again. Should be able to grab the trim command and trim to closest. We should be able to get rid of these segments here. I think that's a good shape. It looks like it's black, it's happy, it's fully defined. So next I'm going to go over to my mirror command. I can, it's right here as well, mirror. So entities to mirror, I'm going to make a box around that shape that I just drew, mirror about this line that we drew previously, and I have that set. Now I'm going to exit my sketch. I'm going to go to features and go to revolve cut. I'm going to select the axis of rotation as this, and I've got my sketch selected. I'm going to switch my view to solid here. Let's take a peek at that. I'm going to hit OK. It looks like it's going to do what I want, and there it is. So we've eased the edge of our bolt, taken the sharp edges off. Next we just need to put the threads on here. Before I put the threads on, I'm going to add a little chamfer on the end of this. So I'm going to go grab my, under the fillet command we can add a chamfer. Okay, so put a chamfer on this edge. I'm going to set it to 0.0, make sure you have the 0 in there, 20 and 60 degrees. And that looks correct. Before I move on though, I'm just going to go back and edit that feature. Please note that if you can switch these directions so that the angle and the distance is opposite. I had mine set up so that the angle was 60 degrees here. Also note that if I tried to put, I accidentally forgot my 0 and put 0.2 in here, it's not going to let me do it because it's asking for something that's it can't create. So you need to make sure that you put your 0 in there, and it'll give you the correct chamfer you're looking for. Next we're going to add the new thread command. So the author has shown us a couple ways to put threads by cutting them. We're going to use the thread option that's new to Solidworks. If you search commands and hit thread, notice there's a disclaimer here. It says a thread tool are nominal thread piles. Don't use them for production quality threads. Okay, we won't do that. Just want to, so the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have the die option select versus tapping a hole, where a die is going to put threads on the outside of a cylinder. A tap is going to put threads on the inside of a hole. The type of threads that we're looking for in this particular case are 1/4 So there's quite a few options here. We're going to go down to 1/4 is 0.25 and the 20 is the number of threads per inch. I'm going to select that. For thread location, first I'm going to pick this corner, and then I'm actually going to change that and select this face, which is going to shift it down. Then I'm going to select the offset option, which is going to bring it out a little further. Now it offset it to the wrong side, so if I flip this, notice that it offsets it to the outside, which is what I'm looking for. Finally, I want to go down here and make sure that my thread is 1 inch long, and I'm going to hit OK. And notice that chamfer makes it a little easier on the way in, and that sums up creating a bolt with using SolidWorks new thread command.